But that's not real. Neither is that, or that. But of course it isn't. Because to go back in time, or the future, on a film set, you need one of two things. You get a time machine that can carry a whole film set, which weighs about 5 tons, or you master an art that revolutionized cinema. Just imagine you're this guy, French filmmaker and illusionist, Georges Méliès, in the year 1902, and you have a problem. You want to capture a scene in a top to the moon, your sci-fi film. But it's not just any scene. It's a scene that would go on to embark a blueprint the biggest films would emerge from. We tend to forget, or at least I do, that filmmaking is an art. And when exposed with other mediums, something nuanced is birthed. We see this is true across all directors, who could have never imagined themselves as a filmmaker. Georges Méliès is the ultimate example of a world-class director who started in a completely different, non-creative field. He was a medical doctor. The hyperviolent, chaotic injuries Méliès witnessed daily in the ER directly inspired the gritty, crash-heavy aesthetic of the original 1979 Mad Max. In fact, Miller and Kennedy funded the entire first movie using the money Miller earned from his medical shifts. At least this was the case for Georges Méliès. He was a magician, so naturally, he utilized the camera as a magic trick. He hung a small, physically crafted model of a rocket capsule with wires and moved it towards a painted background. And voila! I doubt George could have ever believed his innovations would have prophesied the new age of AI, but we'll get to that at the end. When something is this great, a price is inevitable. And these 3 companies had mastered the miniature effect, and you probably haven't noticed them. And what better video to pay homage in than this one? Vision Crew, Weta Workshop, Wonderworks, just to name a few. Although miniatures is what they're known for, they are all companies which are valued at their respective capabilities. But one director gives each of the companies I've named something they could talk about if they were in one venue. There's only one director I can think of, the man behind the highest grossing film, James Cameron. Every single one of these companies was hired by him. For Titanic, he needed a 45-foot replica of the ship's massive engine. For Weta, James Cameron chose this company himself for his sci-fi epic Avatar. For Wonderworks, he needed a highly complex 3-foot tall miniature crane. Great. 3-foot tall, 45-foot replica. Nothing small about these models. Oh, I thought you'd say that. But fear not, they have a name. Bigatures. In Hollywood, the term miniature doesn't mean small. It means scaled down. The industry created a nickname for large models, bigatures. Weta Workshop famously popularized this term in The Lord of the Rings, when they built a 30-foot tall model of Kirk. It was huge in the studio, but still miniature in comparison to the real fictional city. That has me wondering, how much did the miniature cost in Fast and Furious? I'm guessing that's some research for another day. Wait. Directors use miniatures because physical objects interact naturally with real-world physics, making these settings look grounded and way more believable. Outside of sci-fi films, miniatures of ancient cities and heritage architecture is utilized because it would take your dog, couch, house, clothes, life. You get the point. It's astronomically pricey to go in a real world setting and, for example, put the pyramids on fire because it looks like a cool scene. So how in the world did the Fast and Furious franchise pull it off? Well, the secret is there were no miniatures used. The franchise is famous for not using traditional miniature models for its vehicles or environments, although they do make use of a lot of CGI. Believe it or not, CGI was the AI of that era and impaled the filming industry in almost exactly the same way generative AI is shaking up the creative fields today.
Do you accept a script that wasn't written by a human?
I don't think it's a matter of who wrote it. It's never an issue of who wrote it. It's a question of, is it a good story? And I personally don't believe, sitting here, that a disembodied mind that's just regurgitating what other embodied minds have said about the life that they've had, about love, about longing, about fear, about mortality, what they've said, and just put it all together into a word salad and then regurgitate it, like what they call a stochastic parrot. I don't believe that's ever going to have something that's going to move an audience. I think you have to be human to write that.
But history is there to remind us of how we will prevail. Thank you for watching.